everybody's faces.
Yep. We'll get started in just a minute, waiting for the time.
I think it's just 1, 2, 3. That's what I tried. It seemed to work.
All right, the time is 5:30, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us today. This is the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for June 17th, 2021. I'm Daniel Macklin, and I'll be serving as the chairman for today's meeting. And I will be calling this meeting to order at exactly 5:30. First order of business tonight is a roll call. And I do see that we have a quorum present with 6 members right now, and we will soon be adding one as well. And with that, I'd like to announce the next Board of Zoning Appeals meeting date as well, which will be July 15th. So please do set your calendars for that. And moving right through the agenda, we will start off tonight with looking at the meeting minutes from the last meeting. And I would like to ask if we have an approval of the meeting minutes from March 18th, 2021. And I would like to ask for a motion from the board.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. And I would like to open the floor for any discussion, if we do have any. Okay. With there being no discussion on the meeting, I would like to call for a vote. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes, please raise your right hand. Thank you. And it does pass unanimously, which is 6-0 for the record. Next on the agenda is items from board members. Do we have any items from the board tonight? Okay. With no items from the board, we will proceed to items from staff. And first on the agenda, we have the swearing in of our new Board of Zoning Appeals member, Mike Fowler. And I would like to ask that the City Attorney, Stephen Jones, will present the swearing in of our new board member, as well as signing the oath of office.
Mr. Fowler?
Yes.
Hello. As Mr. McAllen just said, my name is Stephen Jones. I'm the Assistant City Attorney over with Sam Thomas. The Charter and Code do not require that every board member be sworn in, although the inferior boards. However, as a matter of policy, we do that for 2 reasons. And Mr. Shapiro put this on the agenda, which is good. For the second reason for that, the first one is solemnity. The second is who, what, where, and when. And so for a record. So if you would, raise your right hand. You can read or track along with me. I will repeat after me, your choice.
I'll repeat since my glasses are up there.
There you go. So I, Mike Fowler,
I, Mike Fowler,
hereby accept the honor
hereby accept the honor
of serving on the Board of Zoning Appeals of the City of Alpharetta, Georgia.
of serving on the Zoning Board of Appeals for Alpharetta, Georgia. You're getting long.
And in doing so, I do solemnly swear or affirm
And in do so, I do solemnly swear and affirm
that I shall faithfully perform the duties
that I shall faithfully perform the duties
of board member,
of board member,
that I will regularly attend meetings
that I will regularly attend meetings
and uphold the ideals of community and service,
and uphold the ideals of community and service.
and that I shall support and defend
And I shall support and defend
the Charter and the laws
the Charter and the laws
of the City of Alpharetta,
of the City of Alpharetta,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Georgia,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Georgia,
and the Constitution and laws of the United States of America.
and whatever you said, the
Constitution and laws
Constitution of laws of the United States of America,
Yes, sir. Okay. Right here.
Right there.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Stephen, and welcome to the board. Mike, we'll give you a second to sit
Thank you.
down and you can flip your name around. Okay, excellent. Are there any other items from staff before we proceed to the public hearing sections? Okay, excellent. So proceeding to the public hearing section of our agenda tonight, we do have one case for this afternoon. That is V-21-11 Cario /121 Arrowwood Lane setback variance. Do we have the applicant present today? We do have him present, thank you. And we will first have a presentation by staff, Mr. Michael Woodman, and then we'll ask for a presentation by the applicant following.
Good evening, Chairman and board members. The item before you this evening is a variance to reduce a side setback on a residential property for 2 accessory structures from 10 feet to 5 feet. Structures are a workshop, which is under construction, and an existing in-law suite. Code enforcement issued a stop work order on the property and placed the property owners on notice that the construction required a building permit and that the structures did not meet the required side setback. Have a location map on the overhead, and the property is located at 121 Arrowwood Lane, and that's in the Arrowwood subdivision. The subject property is 0.8 acres. It's zoned R15, developed with a 1-story, about 1,700 square foot home. Surrounding properties are also zoned R15 and located in the Arrowwood subdivision, except for the property to the west. That property is zoned R10 and located in the Headington Square subdivision. I have an aerial of the applicant's lot. This is Arrowwood Lane, so this is the front of the property. The 2 structures in question are this structure. So this is the home here. And so the in-law suite is here. It's about 150 square feet. And then the structure that was under construction, it's about 20 by 20. It's about 400 square feet. That's the workshop. And then the workshop is located behind the in-law suite. When code enforcement came out here with regard to the construction of the workshop, they identified that not only that workshop was being constructed without a building permit, the property owners were not aware of the need for that building permit, but they also noticed that the in-law suite that's already existing also didn't meet that side setback. So this variance is for both of those structures. On the workshop, all the walls are on that structure. It's just waiting on the roof. So here's a street view of the home, and you can see the in-law suite back here, and then the workshop is beyond that. Some more up-close pictures of the workshop area. So this is the back of the in-law suite here, and so you see the workshop behind it. Just the roof structure has not been completed. These photographs were taken by code enforcement. And that's a picture of the workshop standing in the driveway. The in-law suite is to your left with the workshop in front of you. And then this is just a picture taken from further down the driveway, closer to the street, of the 2 structures. We do have examples of similar variances being approved in the past. Board of Zoning Appeals granted a variance in 2001 on Harbor Cove Court. That was for a sunroom that was built without a building permit, and that sunroom was built 9 feet into the required setback. Again, in 2015, there was a variance that was granted approval at 255 Clipper Bay Drive. That's out in Windward. And that was for a home that was actually built over the required setback line. It was built 4 feet into the 10-foot side setback line. Both those variances were approved. Staff has reviewed the applicant's proposal and believes that that approval of the variance would not cause substantial detriment to the public good. The applicant has obtained letters of no objection from both property owners to the north and south within the Arrowwood subdivision, of which the neighbor to the south is the one that would be directly to the south as closest to those two structures. And so they have provided a letter not objecting to the applicant's variance request. If approved, staff is recommending that the applicant should minimize impacts by planting evergreens along that property line to help screen the structures from the adjacent property. So with that, staff is recommending approval of V21-11 Cario 121 Arrowwood Lane setback variance, subject to the following conditions. 1, accessory residential structure shall be permitted as depicted on the submitted plans and with a 5-foot side setback. 2, property owner shall secure a building permit for the detached garage, which is the workshop, prior to commencing construction activities. So the applicant would need to come back to our department and get a building permit for the workshop. And 3, property owner shall submit a planting plan to the city and plant an evergreen screen along the side property line adjacent to the residential accessory structures, subject to approval by staff. And that concludes the presentation. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions?
Was there any discussion of runoff or just looking at the concrete structures there, right against the driveway? Was there any concern as far as runoff to neighbors or anything like that?
We haven't had any, staff has not had any formal discussions with the neighbors. The applicant is only required to notify those neighbors. No one has reached out with any concerns of runoff. As part of the building permit for the workshop, that will be something that our stormwater engineer does look at. So if there are some issues with that, there may be a situation where they would have to, redirect the runoff to the appropriate area. Okay. But the topic has not come up.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, thank you. All right, now we would like to ask for the applicant to please come forward and make a presentation as well. And when you reach the podium, please state your first and last name and address for the record.
Good evening, everyone. Chair, board members, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Paul Carrillo. This is my wife, Veronica. First of all, I just want to say thank you for your time and sorry for the inconvenience. As a homeowner, you think that you have things together, but you realize that you've missed some steps along the way, and I totally take accountability and responsibility for that. Nonetheless, I want to say that working with Michael, it's been a wonderful experience. We've learned a lot through this process. We would like to do things and continue and do it right, certainly. The last thing we want to do is upset any of our neighbors, so I did take it upon myself. I spoke to both the right side neighbor, Jeff, and our neighbor that's just adjacent to us where it would really impact his property. And both were very open and, they didn't have any major concerns or issues or anything of that nature. But again, it's a learned opportunity for us. And we are in agreement with the recommendations that Michael set forth. But again, thank you for this opportunity, and Mr. Mitchell, congratulations on your appointment. And I guess that's it. If you have any questions, and if I can answer, I certainly will. Do you have anything you want to add?
Okay. Any questions from the board for the applicant?
No. Okay.
Appears you're off easy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
All right. So I'd like to also open the floor for public comment, if there is any public comment tonight. Okay. Not seeing any interest for public comments, so we will close that section of our agenda. And with that, I'd like to offer this case to the board for discussion. Is there any discussion this evening? All right. Well, in that case, I would like to ask for a motion from the board, please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve with staff, the 3 staff conditions.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second the emotion.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'd like to call for a vote. And the vote is to approve with staff conditions. If you are in favor of this, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? And that passes unanimously, which is 7-0. Thank you. All right, and with this passing, we have no further public hearings on the agenda for tonight. And I would like to ask one last time if there are any items from board or staff. Hearing none, we can proceed to adjournment. And I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn from the board.
So moved.
Is there a second to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of adjourning, please raise your right hand. Adjournment passes 7-0. Thank you, and good night.